speaking of Donald Trump and the kind of power he holds over the Republican Party, the answer is, on the local level, not much. So what I mean by this is that Donald Trump's endorsement can move a few votes, maybe a few, like in Pennsylvania, for example, Dr. Oz over Dave McCormick. Maybe it made a difference there. That was a competitive race anyway. Maybe it made a difference in a very competitive primary in the Ohio Senate race where J.D. Vance, with Trump's endorsement, emerged victorious. So he can move, I don't know, a few tens of thousands of votes. But he's also endorsed a bunch of candidates who have just gotten skunked. Right? He endorsed David Perdue in Georgia. He got just blown out. And he also just lost a couple of other races in Georgia. Right? So he lost a race, Mike Collins versus Vernon Jones. He had endorsed Vernon Jones. Mike Collins blew out Vernon Jones 75-25. What it seems like is if Donald Trump targets you and decides that you are an enemy, then it is unlikely that you win. So there's a difference between Donald Trump endorsing a person, which I don't think has a lot of power, and Donald Trump destroying people. Donald Trump still has the power to destroy, but I'm not sure that he has the power to build. And the question is going to be, what happens when he tries that power of destruction against somebody who actually has the loyalty of a Republican base? Like if you look forward to 2024, like he actually tried to destroy Brian Kemp in Georgia. It wasn't just that he endorsed David Perdue. He actually talked about how Brian Kemp was terrible and horrible and no good and very bad. And Brian Kemp won because he had earned the loyalty of the Republican voting base in Georgia, despite Trump's anger at Brian Kemp. Well, in 2016, Donald Trump ran directly against the Bushes. I mean, he ran against Jeb. And then everybody else he sort of brushed off. He's the most famous person in the field. There were 87 people in the field. And he was able to run that gauntlet and win the nomination. What happens when he is up against, say, Governor DeSantis? Now, the media are itching for this fight. They want the fight. They want Trump to attack DeSantis. They want DeSantis to attack Trump, start some sort of internecine warfare. DeSantis is smart enough to avoid that right now. He doesn't want to fight with Donald Trump. First of all, he's not even sure, I think, whether he wants to run in 2024, considering that he still has to win his reelection effort here. He still has to win his reelection effort in 2022 in Florida, which he will. DeSantis is far and away, according to polls, the most likely Republican to win who is not named Trump. And so the Democrats are trying to generate some sort of fight between DeSantis and Trump. It seems to me that there is a world in which DeSantis just says, listen, Mr. President, I'm really, really happy for everything that you did while you were president. Also, we have an 80-year-old president right now. You are 77 years old. I believe that my governance record in Florida speaks for itself, and that's why I should be elected president, because I want to take my policies, which have been very effective. I picked effective fights. He doesn't even say a bad word about Trump. He just goes right over the top. And I think there's a world where that is effective. That's particularly effective if Donald Trump continues to focus in on January 6th like a laser beam. Because Democrats focusing on January 6th ain't going to shift Republican votes. But Donald Trump seeming distracted is going to. Because one thing about DeSantis in Florida is the guy's a weapon. DeSantis absolutely knows his opponents. He knows how to fight them. He picks winning issues. So what does this bode for 2024? It shows that Trump is not invulnerable. What these primaries shows that Trump does not have the sort of stranglehold the media thinks he has on the Republican Party more broadly. We're in a battle for the culture and for our values. Like and subscribe to help keep our videos on the front line of the fight and top of your feed.